concerning nauseating trends that took place in Europe in general, and Germany specifically, and seeing evidence of them here amongst us in 2016, here in Israel. After all, there is nothing simpler and easier than hating the foreigner. There is nothing easier and simpler than arousing fears and intimidating. There is nothing easier and simpler than becoming bestial, forging principles and becoming smug. And he went on to say there's a kind of similarity with the way the Nazis behaved. Well, if anybody on the present definitions which are doing the round deserves to be called anti-Semite, it's of course the Deputy General of the Israeli Defense Forces. And indeed that's begun to happen, and he was heavily criticised, I think today or yesterday, by Netanyahu. It's a measure of, in fact, the deep divisions in Israeli society. I follow Israeli archaeology, very fascinated by the way Zionism has inspired a number of archaeologists who spent 100 years looking for ancient Israel and can't find it. It's always intrigued me. One of these archaeologists on the progressive wing came to London recently. I went to his lecture and he and I had a cup of tea. And it was fascinating talking to him, and he was in every possible way very, very liberal. He called himself a socialist. But he was itching to have a discussion about the present situation. I sensed, after a good discussion, that wasn't a good idea, but he was insistent that we had this discussion. And I told him my views, in a very moderate way I told him my views, and he said, the trouble with you Jewish leftists in Britain, you don't understand something terribly important, that the Palestinians, however originally well-intentioned, have all become Islamic terrorists. Now this was a superficially rational guy, in his profession certainly very rational, but it's symptomatic of the levels of racism in Israeli society today. In fact, the Israeli senior armed officer of the Defense Forces says this is incredibly important, symptomatic of Israeli society. I'm very conscious of the time. I want to move off that onto one very, very important characteristic of the present crisis in the Labour Party and the baiting of Labour by the media and the right wing. And of course, people have said, the Tories, but also many, many right